everybody. Welcome to Hey We're Talking.
I don't even know where this comes from, Scott.
I'm a very complex man. I'm crazy. So here we are. It's been so long since we've been together, Derek.
Yeah,
you and I.
I don't even know where we're going to put these episodes. It might be 2019 before.
No, I'm going to use them soon because I like to keep it fresh. I like them right from when we just talked. I like to keep them moving.
Right on. Well, we're without Bob today.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're waiting for Bob to get home.
Yeah.
So we can record our normal trio of shows. But I thought, hey, I'm awake. I took my wife to the doctor, clean bill of health and everything. So we're just. I was like, I'm awake. You want to knock out a couple of? Let's do some quality filler shows.
Yeah. So
with a Hey We're Talking stamp of quality. Not saying it's going to be great quality.
No, it's going to be it's going to be fantastic. What are you talking about?
No, it's going to.
So on the other filler show, we were talking about wine, and then we started talking about shows that we watched on Netflix. So I want to talk about Netflix shows again. We do. I think this should just be a recurring thing because Netflix has always got new stuff, and I think people need to know what's available and what's good.
Yeah,
and you have different tastes than I do too. So.
Yeah, I mean, because last time we did our top 5 Will Smith movies, you know, we were talking about Bright.
Yeah.
On Netflix, and I watched it that night.
What'd you think?
I liked it.
You did?
I did.
It's an interesting concept. That's the thing that I enjoyed is it's almost like a cross between like the characters from like a Lord of the Rings movie and like a modern day cop drama.
Yeah, without spoiling what the film is. I mean, what it's about, but it's basically an alternative present reality.
Yeah. Where
there's humans, but there's also orcs, elves, and fairies. But they're not. But it's not like a fantasy kind of environment. It's
but the
gritty.
Fairies
are
gritty, not like the fairies that you're used to in Walt Disney World. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, the fairies are basically mosquitoes,
but they're like vicious, like bigger than a mosquito too. That's the other thing.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the plot.
It's freaky. But can you imagine if there was something like that flying around in real life? How terrifying that would be.
Yeah,
I would hate that.
Anyway, there's the humans. And the orcs and the elves, they don't really get along that great. There was a great war in the past, and so it's kind of like an analog for racial tension. And I think it hit the critics in a really bad way. But I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty good.
You know what's so stupid about that though is like you said, it's this twist on racial harmony and racial disharmony and all that kind of stuff, but. Like I said when we talked about it the first time, it doesn't like preach to you. There's like a very small little bit of a thing in the beginning, and there's little drips of things throughout it that make you go, like when it first started, I was like, oh boy, are they going to teach me something? Which is okay. I can learn something good about humanity in a movie, but I was like, are they going to sit here and like, you know, white shame me through this whole movie, or is it going to be? And they didn't. It wasn't like that. It's not like you are the worst white guy. You suck. It was good. They did it the right way. They didn't go overboard. But like you said, critics didn't like it, and I didn't think it was the best movie I've ever seen. But it was good.
I thought it was a fun Will Smith action movie.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's not like his typical crazy little comedy drops, but he did say some funny stuff.
He did. I thought it was. He had just the right amount of little, you know. He had his little Will Smith, little quips and quotes and little one-liners that he would drop in there.
The orc actually had funnier lines. Yeah, but he was they were so dry. All his humor was so dry because he's an orc, you know.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so I think we both recommend that film. We're going to talk about shows, but there's also another thing Netflix is known for, Scott, and I know that you know this.
Yeah.
Because it's your forte, is stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
And I just watched last night a Todd Barry special that came out, and I like that. But the big one that recently came out was the two from Dave Chappelle.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, anyone who's listening to this show who is older than us, or you know what, older than Derek, let's just say, if you're not in your 30s, please don't watch the Dave Chappelle show if you don't have a sense of humor. Don't watch Dave Chappelle's stand-up, because I don't want to get a bunch of people saying, I can't believe you talked about those. They're terrible. Yes, it's Dave Chappelle, everybody. He's not a clean comic. I don't know if you noticed this. He's going to offend you, guaranteed. So, anyway, go ahead. Just a disclaimer, because I know people are going to be like, I turned on that Dave Chappelle, and what's wrong with you, Scott?
Yeah, it's real interesting. I watched the first two special like the day they came out last year, and then it took me like a week to watch the other ones, but I still did. Really good. Lots of commentary. He's not very nice to our president, but that's okay. It's comedy.
But I didn't think it was like too crazy. I mean, he did say stuff, but it wasn't like the whole entire stand-up special. That's what I was worried about, is he was just going to be like, all right, let's talk about Trump. And he just did like a little bit. He doesn't like Trump. He understands Trump, but he doesn't like him, which is okay. You can not like him. I don't care.
I've read a lot of criticism of Dave Chappelle because of the things he says. And throughout his special, throughout the comedy, he's like, look, he goes, I'm not trying to be right. I'm not trying to be politically correct. I'm just trying to make jokes. I'm just trying to be funny. And yet there's still people who are writing their little articles, how dare, this guy, he can't have it. They're criticizing him. It's like, come on, why do we have to be so sensitive to the comedian?
Well, that's the thing that he talks about, and he's right. He calls it, I think this is in the second one, he talks about a brittle spirit. And it's just this idea that every single thing that happens can offend somebody. It's like, first of all, I've heard many comedians say this, but Dave Chappelle did a really good job of saying it. Comedy is not supposed to be something that makes you go, oh, I feel safe. That's good. I'm glad he said it that way because I don't want to be offended. Comedy's supposed to offend you a little bit. It's supposed to make you think about the way you view things, and it sometimes may shock you. I mean, good comedians are going to do that. That's just how it is. And he talks about that, and people just need to get over themselves, okay? I'm so tired of this. Let's let 2018 be the year of I'm not going to get offended anymore. I know it's not going to happen, but let's pretend. At least I'm not going to get offended anymore.
Yeah.
Never have been.
I don't take too kindly to people who are just easily offended. Now, I don't really see a lot of it in my real life and with people that I interact with, but you see it a lot, I guess, on Twitter and internet articles.
Just
people
any
get
social media, dude. On Facebook, the drama that comes out, dude. Oh my gosh, Twitter.
Anyway, I do
want to say one thing about this though. Seriously, being offended all the time is a sure sign of immaturity in my eyes. If you don't understand how to take things that people say and not let it bother you or just brush it off, you're immature. You need to grow up.
Especially when it's not even intended to be mean-spirited.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, but we're taking this, we're here to be talking about what's on Netflix, but we're kind of
going into Derek's danger zone.
Floating
Derek wants to be right in the middle.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just wanted to say that, but we're here to talk about.
We're here to talk about Netflix and have some fun.
Netflix shows and movies and specials. Yeah, but, I like good comedy. And Dave Chappelle, in my opinion, is good comedy and is well worth your time.
Yeah.
It's very thought-provoking.
Yeah. And, again, the language, if you're offended by language, don't even waste your time, please.
Yeah, there will be.
Don't go somewhere and say, Scott and Derek said to watch this Dave Chappelle thing, and you sit down with like your kids to watch it. Then you're a moron. Don't do it. As my dad would say, idiot. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're offending me, Scott, with these these words.
Sorry.
Okay, so
Chappelle, good stuff. Next. What's next on your list?
We talked about this at the end of the last show. Peaky Blinders. They've got 4 series or 4 seasons out. I think they're about 6 episodes apiece. Now, you said you tried watching an episode, and I think one of my brothers said like Brandon said he tried to watch an episode. Didn't really grab him from the beginning, and I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
It's slow moving in the beginning, okay? That's what I'm going to tell people. I would like to continue it, and I'm going to now that you're telling me that it's worth pushing through, because the first episode was like probably, I think if I remember correctly, we were 45 minutes in, and we still had a good portion of it to go. So it was over an hour episode.
And most of them aren't going to be like that.
Right. But I understand the first episode, they're laying the groundwork. That makes sense to me.
So yeah, I watched, like I would watch one episode and then I watched, I'd wait a week and I watched the second episode. Last night I watched like the 3rd and 4th episode just back to back.
Okay.
And it was good. And it was like, all right, I'm ready to keep watching. I did switch it off just to, because there's only going to be 24 episodes of that are available. So I don't want to you don't want to like just binge these things super fast. You want to.
Oh, I do.
I want to. Well, I want to savor it a little bit. I want to enjoy it a little bit. So I switched off Peaky Blinders and I went to The Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess you've seen that, but that one just grabbed me immediately.
Yeah, that's good, man. That is a good show. And we talked about this before, but I haven't really been drawn in by the other Marvel shows that Netflix has done. Not at all. No.
Yeah, I see some friends of mine, like the Boontars, and he really likes a lot of those, like Daredevil. I think is his favorite. And when the first season of Daredevil came out, all of them were like, "Yeah, Daredevil, woo!" And I thought it was okay.
Yeah,
I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. And I went and I sat through Jessica Jones.
Oof.
And it was just, I'm like, man. And then I keep hearing that Iron Fist was terrible.
Yeah, I tried to watch that one. Didn't love it. I did like the other one. Luke Cage, I started to watch it, and I thought, I might like this one. And then I not on purpose, I just never went back and watched it.
Yeah.
You ever do that? You start something and you think, I might like this. And then you just find like a year later, you're like, I never finished that.
Yeah, absolutely, all the time. And Peaky Blinders was one of those. I watched the first episode like a year ago.
I've had it in my list forever.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, everyone. The 4th season of Peaky Blinders just came out, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's so good."
Yeah.
And everyone's telling me like the 2nd season of Peaky Blinders is also like really, really good. So, I deal with the slow start, but get to it for sure. But yeah, the whole Marvel universe, I don't think, if there's so much stuff on Netflix, I think I'm gonna be okay to kind of pass. I'm just gonna be done with Daredevil, The Defenders, Jessica Jones, Iron Fist, Luke Cage. Not my thing, really. It's okay. It's good. It's just good.
All right.
But there's a lot of great stuff out there.
Yes, there is. Let's take a quick break, and we're gonna come back, and I want to tell you about a couple of things from Netflix. I'm gonna drop some shows on Derek and the rest of the listeners.
Scott's dropping bombs.
Boom. Today's show is brought to you by GoDaddy. Buy your own domain name, build your site, or use any of GoDaddy's business tools and save 30%. Just go to trygodaddy.com/HWT. That's trygodaddy.com/HWT. And we're back.
Drop some bombs, Scott.
I'm dropping bombs. All right. I'm just going to jump out of the gate here and get going. So I mentioned this show to you in a previous show, Shooter, based on the Marky Mark Wahlberg movie, Shooter. The first episode basically kind of sticks to the movie, and I won't give it away. But It has Ryan Philippe or Philippe. I don't know how you say that guy's name.
Ryan Phillippe.
Yeah, there you go. Ryan Phillippe.
The ex Mr. Reese Witherspoon.
Yes, exactly. That is exactly how I think of him. Isn't that sad? Poor guy. He was kind of hot in the 90s. Like, I thought, oh, this guy's going to be a big movie star. And then something happened. I don't remember. He just kind of tanked. Maybe it was when he lost Reese.
He broke her heart, and nobody breaks her heart.
Nobody puts Reese Witherspoon in a corner. All right, so Shooter, here's the deal. So this is a USA Network show, okay? And I have a theory about these USA Network shows. Another USA Network show is Mr. Robot. That one is on Prime, I believe, Amazon Prime. You can watch it. And they have a bunch of them on Amazon Prime USA. So this one being on on Netflix is a little weird. But anyway, USA Network shows. Here's what my feeling about them. Cheryl used to be into this show called Burn Notice. Have you ever heard of this? Burn Notice?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Never watched it.
It's, it reminds me of like those 80s like Renegade or Knight Rider, that quality of a show. Like the quality is not, like I said, we just finished watching Ozark.
Yeah, limited budget is what you're
and Ozark is like fantastic. Just a great show. They did a really good job on that show.
Yeah.
Good acting. That's also huge.
Huge.
The people that are in it make a big difference. So on these USA Network shows, I get the feeling that they shoot them all in Canada. And so there's a lot of like Canadian extras and Canadian and nothing wrong. It's going to sound like I don't like Canadian actors. That's not what I'm saying. But like, you can tell that the quality of acting is not on par with, they've got a couple of really good people in the top of Shooter. So like Ryan, what's his last name again? Phillippe,
yeah.
Phillippe, Omar Epps, and Tom Sizemore. Okay, these are kind of like the big people in the show. And then it's just like these kind of filler. I sound like such a jerk, but it's like people that are just filling in like the outer characters, secondary characters, and they're not great yet. Maybe someday they're going to be fantastic actors. I mean, I'm not trying to crap on their careers, but the quality, it's just down a notch. So you watch something like Ozark and you just go, man, this is good. And even the people that they had in it aren't like super well-knowns outside of Jason Bateman and Laura Linney. Mm-hmm. But they were good actors for the most part, it seemed like. So these USA Network shows sometimes just kind of have like these fringe people. I sound like such a jerk that I'm calling people fringe people. But do you understand what I'm saying? They're not like well-known actors and actresses yet.
I get it. Yes.
That's all I'm trying to say. I'm saying it really badly.
Yes,
I'm making it sound like I don't like these people, but yeah.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. The USA, TNT, TBS shows that are produced in Canada. You talk about like the older ones like Monk.
Yes.
Rizzoli and Isles.
Right,
like
right.
Burn Notice. Yeah, I know they're produced in Canada, maybe like in Vancouver. And you got it's just a different aesthetic.
Yes.
A different set of production values. Lower budget, I would imagine, because it's, it's not as slick, it's not as polished as something on a major network or like Netflix original show. I get it.
But
I
here's
totally
my thing.
Get it.
USA Network. So Cheryl was like, yeah, but it's USA Network. And I go, but here's my issue. Netflix is Netflix, okay? It's not NBC. USA Network is part of NBC Universal Television. Why don't they have the budget? If they like the people that are in these shows, put the money into it. What are you doing? Netflix is doing it.
Well, I think it's studios. I think
True.
It's not just, USA is like, there's like the USA studios. No, there's like there's like this Canadian studio that produces all these shows that they buy them from.
Yeah.
You know,
I like that you're breaking down the business for me. Because
like
I agree. You're right. That's the thing. I overlooked that idea in my head. I was just like, why don't these networks put the money into some of this stuff? But now I get what you're saying.
And see, yeah, Netflix, like they will, you know, these production companies, these studios, they're the ones that come up with the ideas, and then they approach Netflix. Hey, we got this idea that we would like to shoot this show, and then Netflix will be like, yeah, we'll pick that up. Here's $50 million or whatever. You know, it's not like there's the Netflix stage studio. You know, it's like that. And I'm not saying this is about Ozark, but like some of these shows are, the ones that sometimes say
like the Marvel ones,
Netflix original.
Yeah.
Like they're like made in England.
Yes.
For an English channel,
and they're bringing them over here. Yeah, yeah.
And then they're slapping a label like Netflix original, even though like there's one called The End of the Effing World.
Yeah.
It'll say, you know, it's a Netflix original show,
but it's on BBC or something, right?
But yeah, it's like you know, produced for Channel 4 England or something like that.
Yeah. So, by the way, I just wanted to mention this because that's why I started to chuckle a little bit as I was thinking of this part in Dave Chappelle's stand-up where he talked about, I was thinking about House of Cards, how good House of Cards is. And Dave Chappelle's like, he's like, the person, this is so bad, but it's funny too at the same time. The guy, the kid at the time that Kevin Spacey inappropriately touched or whatever. I don't know what to call it. Anyway, we won't travel down that rabbit hole. But the guy waited 30 years, and Dave Chappelle was like, sure wish he could have held out like 6 more months so I could know what happened on House of Cards. And I was like, dang it, dude. That's so sad, but completely true, yes. I kind of wish 6 months later this guy would have come out after House of Cards was finished.
So... Okay, so we talked
Derek
about.
quickly says, "Let's move on."
No, I know I enjoy that story, but it does require, you really need to watch the special to really get the full context
Yeah,
of
I
it.
took that one line out, and people are going to be like, "No wonder we're not going to watch that Dave Chappelle comedy show."
Don't let us stop you.
That's the least of the offensive things you're going to hear on that show. Okay, go ahead.
So Shooter's good, you say?
It's growing on me.
So, but it has that quality you were saying.
It does. It's got the USA Network-y. It's got the USA Network stench on it.
Okay. Well, there's one I just mentioned now. The End of the Effing World, and it's
you
like
love saying that too. It's like so fun for you.
Well, I mean, that's the way it is. It's spelled. It's like F asterisk 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 ing.
The End of the Farting World. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like. There are 8 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
They're 20 minutes apiece, and this trailer is what grabbed me because now when you're going to Netflix, whenever you click on the thing,
it just starts playing. It'll
automatically start the trailer for it, and I think that's cool. So it starts out, and it was like, I'm pretty sure there's like a 17. My name is James. I'm 17 years old, and I'm pretty sure I'm a psychopath, and I need and I'm like, what? This is this kid in high school, and he's. He thinks he's a psychopath, and he's wanting to. He's like, it's time for me to choose somebody that I want to kill. And so,
oh no,
yeah. And so this girl, who's also a little weird, she's a little off. She wants to be his girlfriend, but she's also kind of wild and crazy. So they go off on wild adventures together. He's trying to pretend to be her boyfriend while he's working up his nerve and a plan to kill her.
Oh gosh!
But he's also probably starting to fall in love with her.
Oh,
and develop feelings. So it's definitely not for the kids.
Is this like a natural born killers kind of a thing, or what?
Well, she's got a tough home life. She has a stepdad who's inappropriate with her, and her.
So
her mother.
He might be going down in future episodes.
I get that sense.
Just a distinct feeling that the psychopath is going to kill the dad at some point.
Probably.
Okay.
So it's interesting. It's very.
You did a better job of selling it than the preview did for me because I was just kind of like, okay.
No, it's pretty interesting. Okay. I would it's getting a lot of good reviews, I think. A lot of stars or thumbs. I don't know.
Got a lot of buzz. No, they don't even let you rate stuff anymore. You can only give it a thumb up or a thumb down because of Amy Schumer getting pile drived on the dislikes. She got killed. Yeah, so they stopped their rating system.
And I haven't even watched that special
or
whatever.
Amy Schumer? Why would you?
Yeah.
Bad.
I mean, I like comedy.
Not funny.
Okay.
That was not positive, Scott. Let me bring positive Scott back. Amy Schumer.
No.
Not really my cup of tea, but, if you like her, it's probably a great special. There you go. I positived it up.
Is there any other shows that you're currently watching or movies on Netflix?
Not movies. I keep thinking about going back to watching Mad Men because I never watched it. One show that I would recommend to you, though, is Halt and Catch Fire. It's an AMC show, and it's about computers when personal computing took off. Yeah. It's a very interesting show. There's one season of that left. I think it's 4 seasons long total. And I think you should watch that one, Derek. I think you would like it.
I've heard about that. Crossroads Greg really digs that one.
Yeah, and he's totally into computers, so that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
He's a computer guy.
There is one movie that just came out on Netflix called The Babysitter.
Oh,
it's
no.
It's a horror. It's a horror comedy.
No. Why? I don't understand the horror. It's not that I'm afraid of it. It's just like I don't understand why I want to watch it. It's like when Bob and his family talk about watching the movies and they're like all his wife and daughter are like scared and
I don't know.
Thank you,
Scott. It's like wine. You got to develop a taste for it.
You do. You have to develop a taste for like evil people murdering people.
Yeah, I mean you got to. That's how we pulled in both episodes, right? You like
exactly.
that? The wine episode of Netflix. So Netflix and wine and Netflix.
So Derek, tell people where they can go and check out stuff. Just because I want to try and do this a little bit more because we haven't done a good job of it.
I get you, man. All right, hey, we're talking. That's the name of the show.
Yeah.
And if you ever just get onto the internet anytime, you'll probably trip all over us.
Yeah,
because we're on Facebook. Look us up on Hey We're Talking Facebook. Like us. Share us. Maybe you share it, and one of your friends happens to catch one of our little videos, and they love it because we're like 185 episodes in. And they're like, look at all this free content.
Yeah.
All this free entertainment. That's what
people drive around a lot. Man, you could be entertained for literally hours from our show.
Yeah. So we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We are on iTunes and Podbean. You can download our podcast at heywe'retalking.com. Also on Coyote Country Radio and Radio Bloodstream. These are internet radio stations, which are also playing our podcast. So if you're listening from there, hi.
Yes, hello. Yeah.
So we're
all over the place, man. It's crazy. Bob finds new places to put us all the time. It's insane.
Our subscriber base, our listener viewer base is continually growing and expanding, and we appreciate that. Bob and Scott and I, we would probably meet like this once a week anyway, just to talk about crap. But we're doing it and we're filming it and putting it on the internet, and
Derek has earthquakes all the time at his place, by the way.
Yeah. We're just trying to provide a little
natural. You can't help it. You're probably touching whatever it's on and you're shaking your computer. You can't help it.
Yeah, the laptop's on a stool and I'm grabbing the stool.
Yeah. That sounds kind of funny that you're grabbing a stool because you're a nurse. You probably had a few stools in your hands.
Yeah.
Gross.
1 or 2, Scott. 1 or 2.
All right. We're going to wrap it up and just say thank you. Derek put you in all the right places. Go check us out. We will definitely have Bob on the show again very soon. Probably the very next episode.
Special guest, Bob.
Bob Peel, special guest coming up on Hey We're Talking. Thanks for listening, guys. We'll talk to you soon.